On the morning of 14 July 1789, the city of Paris was in the state of terror, as the king has ordered his troops to enter the city. The rumor spreaded that the king very soon may order his troops to open fire upon its citizens. Hearing the rumor, around 7,000 men and women gathered in the town hall and decided to form people militia. That means they formed different groups and started breaking into government offices and buildings in search of arms. In this process, hundreds of people marched towards the eastern side, that is towards the fortress prison of Bastille. They stormed into the fortress. In this process, the commander of the fortress was killed. And there were only 7 prisoners in the prison, so these prisoners were also released. The people hated this fortress very much, as it was the symbol of despotic power of the king. So the people demolished it, and the fragments of this demolished fortress were sold in the market. People bought it as a souvenir, as the remembrance, which marked the destruction of the fortress. Days followed and many events took place. There were protests, riots in the city and the countryside against the high prices of the bread as well as the taxes, which led to the execution of the king himself in France. Later on, when the historians had a look on these chain of events, they found that it was just the beginning. All these events were the beginning which led to the execution of the king himself. So now, in this chapter further, we are going to study about the events which took place. What were the reasons because of which the execution of the king took place? You must be thinking why we have to read or study about this execution in the beginning of the chapter instead in the last, as it was the result of all those events. Sometimes we study the result to find out what all happened because of which we have this main product with us. Now, to start with, first of all, we will study the society of late 18th century in France. In 1774, Louis XVI, the Bourbon family of kings, ascended the throne. He was just 20 years old and was married to Austrian Princess Marie Antoinette. After his succession, he found that the treasury of his kingdom was completely empty. The resources have been completely drained out. They were having the financial crisis, as France was involved in very long war. It was supporting 13 American colonies. France helped America to gain the independence of its 13 colonies from their common enemy, that is Britain. Now supporting these colonies, then maintenance of Palace of Versailles, then different institution, army, hospital, education, minister, all the burdens were there on the treasure. The king couldn't find other way than to levy taxes on the people. Now, who were paying these taxes? Who were these people who were paying taxes? The society of France was based on the feudal system. It was divided into 3 estates. It was in the form of pyramid. The top one, the first was the clergy. Clergy was basically the people who worked in church or who were from church. they were exempted from the taxes. Then the second part of the pyramid was nobility. The people who belonged to the royal families or the ministers. They were also exempted. That they are royal, so they should be exempted. Now the base of the pyramid, that was third estate, and that consisted of common people, which had doctors, artisans, farmers, workers, then your bourgeois, everyone. Everyone that included common people were the payers of the taxes. 90% of the tax was paid by them. This is how the French society was divided. This pyramid itself was known as a society of estate, and it was based on feudal system. Thank you.